A viewer asked, what's the best way to design boss fights with the right difficulty level? Doesn't much matter. As long as it's over 9,000! What? 9,000? There's no way that could be right. Boss encounters can be some of the most fun to design, but it's a little tricky to work out the right level of difficulty. There is more pressure than usual to make the fight challenging, but that makes it very easy to go overboard and end up with a party wipe. A little risk of party wipe is okay, but if you're watching this video, I'm assuming you are aiming for something the party will probably win, while still having a palpable element of danger. The challenge rating system in 3rd edition D&D is a guideline to help you set appropriate challenges, and is pretty good for normal encounters. A CR 8 fight against level 8 heroes may be harder or easier than you planned, but it's unlikely to wipe the party. But the challenge rating is just a guideline, and is not very precise, which means that it isn't a great shortcut for finding that precarious boss fight balance. This is made worse by the fact that challenge rating isn't all that consistent. Dragons, for example, are generally balanced to be 3 to 4 CR harder than everything else, for whatever reason. So for bosses, you really have to do a little calculating of your own to see what the party can take. Obviously, I can't give you a concrete system that will work for every 3rd edition fight, let alone other game systems, in which I'm not experienced as a game master. But you really have to try to evaluate the individual monster based on your feel for the party's capabilities. How reliably can it hit their tankiest character? Or what about their squishiest? Are the save DCs too hard for the character with the worst saving throws? Or too weak to have much chance of affecting the one with the best saves? If the party goes all out on damage dealing, how fast are they likely to kill it? Do they have any powers that can totally negate key boss features, or does it have any crazy powers that they would be near defenseless against, such as a flying spellcaster or a flying ranged monster against a low-level party? At the low levels, the players have fewer abilities, and thus fewer ways they can approach a problem. On the high end of the spectrum, they have way more ways to do things, but you have to worry that going from a boss monster with access to 7th level spells to one with 8th level spells is a huge difference in capabilities, as is going from 8th to 9th level spellcasting. The better you know your party and what they can do, the more you can push the envelope. This becomes most important when some of your players min-max far more than others, and their characters start to hog all the glory. If one character deals far more damage than the others, once in a while you can try to find something else that only she can do, like using a certain skill, or even the inflated damage dealing itself, to disarm a trap or stop a ritual, while the rest of the party has to fend off the enemies. Or maybe you could use some reliable trap or power to immobilize them, or block line of sight for their ranged attacks, and then have them attacked by lesser foes while the others focus on the boss. If a member of the party is immune or highly resistant to boss powers which could cripple the rest of the party, maybe that's okay, if there's some clear way that the resistant character can free the others from the debuff or stop the boss from concentrating on that power, etc. It's great if you can find ways like that to make different characters feel special. But again, it's all about knowing your characters, including what they are likely to do, and there is a great risk of getting too fancy. If you do this too transparently or too often, they'll see through your plot-tailored-to-party trope. Plus, as nice as it sounds to assess what they can do and then plan for it, you also have to plan for them not doing what you expect. As always as a game master, things which seem obvious to you may not be so obvious to the players. Don't make a fight that relies on a precise sequence of abilities which would fail if one member unexpectedly dies or fumbles, or if they simply make different choices. The most straightforward trick I can think of to add to your arsenal might be to design a boss who is tough, so the party can't just burn him down, but who doesn't have enough offense to beat the whole party on his own. Instead, he comes with some weaker monsters, and or hand-activated traps to use during the big fight. Those weaker monsters give you some ability to tune the fight. If the heroes are having too easy a time, maybe you can activate the traps or send in reinforcements. Does the boss have a priest in a back room who can come out and heal him? But if they're having too hard a time, maybe those reinforcements don't show up. In fact, if it's going really badly, maybe the boss accidentally kills some of his own guys in the crossfire with area attacks or traps. If you have a question about running an RPG campaign or anything else, you can ask it in the comments, on my Facebook, or tweet it to #RPGqa. I'm not really an expert, but if people keep asking, I may just take a stab at it. And check out the drama, humor, and ongoing illustrated story of Tales from My D&D Campaign. If you enjoyed this, please activate the like button.